Hello, and welcome to Awake in Ink. My name is Colin, and this is another recording of my journey as an aspiring artist. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Today, I want to talk about the importance of allowing yourself to feel emotions. Specifically, I want to focus on depression. Recently, I had a friend who she told me basically that she was breaking down when she felt the depression come in, as if there was something wrong with her, like she was broken or something. And I was able to help her out by letting her know that depression, it's not something that's wrong with us. So our society tells us that if you have depression, it's like an illness, that you have to take some medication to get rid of it. And the truth is, depression is normal. It exists within all of us. It's an emotion. It's not an illness. I myself had bouts of depression. There was one in particular that happened months back when I had felt so alone by myself. I didn't have any friends really. I didn't really have anyone. And I had about a week where I just felt just really terrible. But I was able to overcome it. And let me explain to you how to actually manage something like depression. So, like I said, we're told basically the idea is it's a bad feeling. I don't want it. I want to get rid of it. Just whatever it takes just to get rid of it. So what do? We'll take drugs, we'll drink, we will do something to avoid having that feeling because it's a bad feeling, and when we don't want to feel bad, so we think there's something wrong with us. But the truth is that depression is just an emotion, just like any other emotion that you have, like anger. That's not an illness, right? Fear, it's not an illness. Depression, it's the same thing. We all get it. There's no one who's immune to it. But for me, the difference is that I can manage it. And so what happened is, when I had this bout of depression, it was really intense. But at first, I had the same reaction. I was like, oh, I got to get rid of this feeling. But through my teachings, I realized that no, what I have to do is I have to allow myself to feel this. Now, I don't recommend that you do this in a public setting if you're around others. I recommend that you do this on your own. You find a place. So what I did was, during my lunch breaks, I would go to this park, this beautiful park with a gorgeous lake, and it's during workday, so everyone's at work, and it's just me, and I sat there. And the first day, I remember, I just allowed myself to feel this depression. I just allowed myself completely to feel it as much as I could. And it brought me to tears. It was so intense. And it didn't go away, but by allowing it definitely, it was like a pressure inside of me that I was able to release some of it. And even though it wasn't gone, I still felt like alleviated, as if I felt lighter. And then the next day, again, I was still depressed, but it wasn't as bad. I wasn't brought to tears or anything. I just sat with it. And it was nice because I had this beautiful scenery, but I sat with it. And then the day after, much less. And I continued on like that for about a week, and by the end of the week, at some point, it was gone. And I was just sitting on a park bench on a beautiful day with the water glistening and birds flying across, and I was just enjoying it. It was like, by allowing myself to feel this, rather than thinking that it was a horrible thing, what ended up happening was, because I went through it, allowed myself to go through it, I came out of it. When I came out, it was beautiful. I just felt so alive. Like, it was like light returned into my life, and everything was beautiful again, and I could smile again, and I felt alive again, but more than I was before. It's as if you put yourself through this challenge, and rather than thinking, oh, it's so bad, now I look at it as like, I know this is difficult, but I can't wait for when this is over, because it's like you're playing a game, and you have to go through this tough quest or this challenge, but once you get out of it, it's like you level up. And that's how I felt. I felt like I grew. Once I got out of it, I could feel myself, there was more light in my being, and I just felt like much, when I would feel happy again, I could really feel joy, like it was stronger, and each time. Now, like I said, it's not something you can get rid of. So there are times when it comes back. I still have depression, okay? It's not like it's gone. But what I do is I know how to work with it now. I know how to manage it now. So now when it comes, I just acknowledge it. I understand what it is, and I allow it to be, and I allow it to do its thing. And like I said, those are the times where I just be by myself, and I know it's difficult. It's always challenging. It never feels easier. But the way I get through it is, it's like giving birth, I'm like, I can't wait until this is over, because what comes out of it is going to be so beautiful. And that's how I manage all of my emotions. If I have anger, I just just be alone, allow myself to feel these things, on my own. And if you can't do it on your own, find someone who's close, okay? Who's really close to you and who won't judge you. If you really need someone to feel these things, find someone close and just allow yourself to feel these. Just know that if you do that, then you'll come out of it a more beautiful being. But most of us were taught that it's a problem, it's bad. Anything that's bad, we gotta just get rid of it. As if you could cure it. You can't cure emotions. All you're doing is you're tucking them down. And what's going to happen is it's going to grow. The more you tuck it down, the more you just try to escape, and the more you try to just ignore it, it's just going to expand and expand, and at some point it's going to just blow up in your face or blow up in someone else's face. And that's what I want people to avoid. I want to teach people that we don't want that, okay? You don't want that. So allow yourself to feel. Especially being a guy, I talk about this. I'm sure, you know, there's people who are like, oh, he has feelings, you know. But we all do, okay? I'm human. I feel just like everyone else does. Yes, I have to show that I'm strong. I have to project strength so I don't allow people to see my emotions. But that does not mean I don't have them. I manage them. And that's what I want others to learn. Because once you can do that, I mean, there's nothing that's going to bother you. You'll be able to handle any situation, and you'll just have a lighter heart, because you'll understand when you feel these things that it's not you. You're not a bad person. It's just an emotion. It's just something that you have to go through in order to reach your next level. So, I hope that helps someone out there. And, of course, I wish you the best on your journey. I love you all. Colin.